Okay, what can happen if there's no small timber around? You've only got a saw, there's nothing really small left on the ground for tinder to start a fire, and you've only got a small knife. In this case it's this knife here. What can we do with it? Let's have a look. So here's the scabbard, comes off the belt relatively easily. It's just a clip on the back there, probably to keep the price down. The Kydex scabbard fits really well itself, but the clip has no kind of tack lock. You've got an adjustable system here for the belt width, easily fits a tactical belt and bigger, and that's it, easy on. You can't take it off, unless you put your fingers in here and pull it like that. So it's pretty easy to get on and to take out, and that's it. Works fine. Okay, so I just cut some wood from a fallen tree. This is hard maple, rock hard, and we're going to split it. We only have a saw and a small knife. So as opposed to bringing a big knife, I could hack through this, but it's quicker with a saw. Okay. It was up in the air, so it would be no good for an axe or a hatchet. Actually, the saw would have been the best, because an axe would have bounced this thing too much. So the saw was the right way. Now can we split this into finer pieces? Let's just put this on the belt. I'm going to take one of these, this little guy. I'm going to split this. No problems, that's, rock hard maple. Let's go it again. It's like a little wedge, this thing. Perfect, let's have a look at that. Okay, so that was no problems to split this. This is seasoned maple, not a problem with that. Let's have a look, see whether we can actually even feather with this small knife. This is a Böker little Dvalins. It's made out of D2 tool steel, and it's got a straight titanium coating on the blade, G10 scales. Very hard wood. I'm putting a bit of pressure into that. This is very hard wood because it's maple, it's seasoned. It's biting into the wood pretty well. Came deadly sharp out of the box. That's pretty good. And the fact is, this handle, can you see that there? Okay, so this is a bigger grip than on my compact one. You can see I can get I can get most of my hand around this grip. It's a bigger grip than the compact one, that's for sure. Okay, let's do a comparison with the compact one. There's the two knives there. You can see the difference. There, let's put them down here. So you can see the compact one has definitely got a much smaller handle. In this case it is definitely a finger knife, and the blade appears to be a little bit bigger, not much really, you know, when you look at it, not much really, but this has got a bigger grip on it. This is definitely a grippier knife, and there's actually a palm swell here too, and it tapers towards the rear. There's a rounded end, which is better for bushcraft really than it's less tactical as such than this, with a bit of a pointed end on it here. Okay, they're both made out of D2. This one's uncoated, obviously, this one's coated. Taiwanese manufacture, made in China manufacture. You know, there was no trouble creating these feathers either with this knife whatsoever. It's probably more comfortable in the hand than the compact one. Yeah, and this is hardwood. This is, you know, dead set. You know, split that up. You just saw me do that a minute ago. This is dead set seasoned maple, so it's very hard. It's a good hardwood. It's really easy to make feathers, of course, in softwood. When you see people making feathers in softwood, and especially when it's green, try doing it in hardwoods. It's much more difficult. And this worked on there really well. Let's have a look how is the blade. So there appears to be some marks on this titanium coating, but I think that's just the dirt from the wood. It hasn't worn through at all. I wouldn't expect it to. How sharp is it? It's still really sharp, just as sharp as it was when it came out of the box. And I would expect that too. You know, air hardened D2, you can't really go wrong with it. This knife too appears to be serial numbered, this one having the number 1670. Well, it's possible, it hasn't been out that super long, so it could have been the 1670th one off the production line. Anyway, there's lots of good jimping along here for the hand. You know, either put the finger right out on this one, the index finger out here, or if you hold the knife like this, you know, you've got the thumbs reside on here like this, and there you go. There, that's the grip, right? I reckon it's a pretty cool little knife. I mean, it's really minimalist, obviously, but you know, you can take logs such as these and split them, you know, so how wide is that? You know, if there's no tinder lying around, so that's about the width of the blade there almost. That's not a problem. You'll probably destroy a folder possibly if you're not really careful. You could do it with a folder, and I've shown that, of course, and you could do that, but you have to be careful. You know, so are there any advantages of, you know, these kind of knives over folders? Well, certainly, yeah, because the blades are going to be much sturdier. They're about the same length of a smallish folder, you know, and you can belt the daylights out of this, and you're definitely not going to break or damage. There's no mechanism to damage, and you're only limited again with the equivalent size folder of what you can do with a blade this length, except this is much stouter in construction. This is what I like too about the Tanto. You can use that as a chisel. You see that? Look at that. That's just like a chisel, which is great for woodworking. Look at that. I mean, hard maple. Excellent. So, of course, the disadvantage with all these small knives are there's no guard, so you've got to watch your knuckles, right? That is the thing. But look at that, that's pretty good. easy to make some tinder, just like that. So that's the Böker Plus Little Dvalin, made in D2 tool steel. Bit of a palm swirl there, as I said. Here, Böker offers some funky file you can download for a charge, of course. To 3D print your own handles. I don't know why, maybe 3D print them in your own colors, but these handles are G10. It's a comfortable enough knife to hold considering the small handle. You know, I can barely get my hand around it, but certainly more grip on it than the compact one, the Pole Force compact one. But that's a smaller knife again. That's really a finger knife. This is a slight step up from a finger knife. It's too big for a neck knife because it's just too thick and heavy. But you know, it's not like my Extrema Ratio SATA, which is a better neck knife. But this, you know, carves okay. You can see that there. Easy to take this bark off. And you've got this great tanto tip. You can really push down on that. As I said, just like a chisel. You know, basically it's a chisel. Yeah, and that could have a lot of applications for a bit of bushcraft. For a very small bushcrafting knife, I think this would be pretty cool. Yeah, alright, bush camping tools here. Thanks for watching.